Yeah, hello. This is Jim from Marshall in Missouri. I want to speak to you all a little bit. I know that all the Ron Paul supporters are pretty down and out since Super Tuesday. What did you expect? The mass media has tried from the very first day of this campaign to minimize and reduce Ron Paul as much as possible. You know, we've got to understand that what Mr. Paul was saying would put a lot of people out of work. And I'm not talking about people that actually make a living in productive pursuits in this American economy. I'm talking about people in Washington and people that work for these bureaucracies that absolutely are draining the lifeblood of America away. It's not the end, it's a beginning. Ron Paul has galvanized people. He's brought them together. He's a conduit for what we need. He may not be the one to lead this particular movement. It may not be time for this movement to take, but it's time for a beginning, and that beginning is now, and he has began it. We need to look hard at our politicians. We need to question everything that they do, because most of what they do is not in our best interest. And it doesn't matter whether you want to look to foreign policy or domestic policy. It doesn't matter what kind of spending that you're trying to really and truly look at. Most of it isn't for we the people. Folks, here's the things that Ron Paul has taught me. First of all, the Constitution is the most important piece of paper that ever has been and ever will be. We cannot let it be trampled. Ron Paul has taught me about the Federal Reserve. It must be eliminated. Ron Paul has told us what government's role is. Government's role is to serve the people. The people's role is not to serve the government. What we need to do is we need to take this beginning and we need to tuck it in our hearts, and we need to tuck it in our minds, and we need to make every politician out there, we need to make him understand that we're just not going to sit quiet anymore, that our borders must be closed, that we can't prop up every economy in the whole world when our economy is bleeding itself white. So it's not the end, folks. It's the beginning. It's the beginning of activism in America, and that's exactly what we need. We need people to take a stand, to look at what's being said. We don't need a North American trade union. We don't need to be bonded with Mexico and with Canada. We don't need to have a policy which allows millions and millions of illegal workers just to walk up through the borders. Honestly, folks, what we need to do is we need to take a long, hard look at what Mr. Paul has accomplished rather than his failures. And to tell you the truth, the cards were stacked against us, and they're stacked against us now. I don't know what's going to happen in the election coming up. I hope Dr. Paul doesn't just quit like Mitt did. I hope he doesn't quit like Giuliani did. I hope that he keeps the message in front of the people, and that's what we must do. We must keep the message in front of the people, that the government is the government shouldn't be an impediment to us. It should be a helper.